Hello friends, welcome back to another video of Traddy. In this video, we're gonna learn what is the Docker Compose file of Freqtrade. We will learn the various parameters, various configuration parameters in the file, and then it will be very easier for us to follow the Freqtrade course. Okay. So let's open the file first, the Docker Compose file. So here you can see we have downloaded the Docker Compose.yml file previously in the previous video with the command. You will be able to find the article and the commands in the video description. Okay, so when we open the Docker Compose.yml file, you can see that it has various options. First is the version, the services. Okay, then we have the restart parameter, the container name, the volumes, the ports, and the commands here. Okay, so what I did, I copied all these configuration parameter in the article, so it will be easier for us to follow that. So let's open the article. You will find the article link in the description below, so it will be easier for you to just copy and paste the files in your terminal. Okay, so first, this is the content of the Docker Compose file. Okay, so let's learn one by one what is it exactly. The first is the image. So in the image, it will show, so we mentioned the stable, so we can mention here the various other versions also. So the first is the Freqtrade and the image. So which image we want to download from the Docker Hub. Okay, so in this image, we mentioned that we want to download the stable image. So what does it mean exactly? Let me show you. So we just go to the Docker Hub, and when we search the Freqtrade here, okay, I open this first one. So here we click on the tags. So here you can see that it has the different tags here. So the first is the latest. So when we don't mention anything, so it will download the default latest image. Okay, we can even mention the Freq AI torch, Freq AI RL, Freq AI plot, develop PI, stable Freq AI, stable this one, stable Freq AI. So these are the various tags here. So in our file we mentioned the stable here, but you can download as per your needs here. You can mention that tag and it will be downloaded. Okay, so the image is that. Then restart. So in restart, it defines the restart policy for the container. So unless we stop the container, it will always restart. Okay, then the container name. As we progress, we will be running multiple containers, so it will be easier for us to differentiate between the different containers. So we assign a container name here. Then the volume. So what it does, it mounts the /user data directory. Like here, if you can see that we have the directory user data here, so it's a local directory. But when we mention the volumes user data, so it will assign this user data directory into the Freqtrade user data within the container. So when we open the container, you can see that this directory is mounted here. Okay, so it is for the persistent storage, because what happens when we close the container, all the changes you have made in the configuration files, all the logs, all the data you have downloaded, it will be gone. So in order to make them persistent, we have to mount the files. So then next is ports. So on which port you want to expose your Freqtrade web UI. So we can mention 8080, we can mention 9090, and whatever the port you want to mention here, you can do that. And the next comes the command. So in command, what happens, you can mention the log file path here, you can mention the DB URL, you can mention the config, you can mention the strategy. So what happens when we have multiple bots, so we can mention the different path for different containers, different path for the log file. You can have a different DB URL, so you can mention the URL for the DB. So what happens, so when we have multiple containers, we can mention different configuration file for different containers. So we can test different kind of strategies there. And then a strategy. So in strategy, we have multiple strategies. So we can assign each strategy to each container to test our configuration and the strategy. So these are the basic understanding. If you have any question, you can comment down. We'll be happy to help you. Okay. So now we run few examples. So let's open the terminal. Okay. So now first we check the Docker PS. So currently we can see that one process is running. So we just close that, command Docker Compose down, and now when we check the process, there is no container running. Okay, so let's start the container first, Docker Compose up. So when we run this command, the container will be started, but what's the issue in that? It will capture the terminal. Okay, so we'll not be able to perform any other commands on this terminal. So in order to resolve this issue, what we can do, okay, as soon as we close that, the container will also be closed, so it becomes an issue, right? So in order to run this container in the background, what we can do, we can just simply run the command docker compose up in the detached mode. So it will run the container in the background, and now when we check that, it is running fine. Okay, and again, when we want to monitor the logs, we can run the command docker compose logs -f. What is -f? So this -f, it will show you the live logs. Okay, so if you run without that, so it will just show you the last logs, okay, and it will finish. But when you add -f, it will show you the live logs, what is happening in the container. So in order to like monitor the logs live, you can run this in one terminal and you can do your work in the other terminal. In that order, you will be able to monitor the live logs. Okay, and then now, how do we interact with the Freqtrade container? When we see that one container is running here, but you want to perform some actions, some activity in the container itself. So how do we do that? So what we can do, we can run this command. So in this command, we will get a bash terminal of that container. So let's run that command, and now we are in that container. So when we check, we are in the container, and we can check the host name. Host name will be the container ID. So like now we are running the commands inside the container, and as I told you earlier, that it mounts the Freqtrade user data directory into the container. So it is mounted here, right? And you can even check the fs tab here also, but vi command doesn't work here, so you have to download. Nano is also doesn't work here, so you can check with the cat. So here the fs tab is unconfigured here, so like you can check, you can perform the actions here as per your requirement. So now we just exit from the container, and now we are in the OS. And when we check the docker ps, and now just stop this docker compose down, and when we check docker ps, it is not running. Okay, so this was the basic tutorial for the docker compose file. If you have any question, just comment down, and you can connect with us on all the social medias. So we'll catch up in the next video of the docker configuration file, config.json. It's very important, so you can have a very good understanding of how to configure the Freqtrade for your trading. Okay, so let's meet in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care, have a nice day.